at over 190 miles an hour. Getting ready to come into the restart zone. You'll see that on your screen. Austin Dillon, the control car on the inside. Green flag's back in the air. Jones helping the 22 of Joey Logano out in front of Austin Dillon on the restart. Elliott Sadler in the 1, now on the outside, leading that outside line. Elliott Sadler already a win in 2016. Will be a part of the chase at season's end. New for the Xfinity Series in 2016.
There's another example of why that call is so difficult. You know, Austin Dillon is saying they're pushing him. They're locked up because the two outside cars, they were pushing and got to the front. So we're going to see this all night. And then when you think somebody's doing it, then that means you can do it. And that's just going to be a continuation all night long.
Very early on, we see blocking taking place already. Joey Logano moved to the bottom of the track. That gave the opportunity for Elliott Sadler to make the move on the high side.
Well, rarely do you race to a guaranteed yellow flag where we have one 6 laps from now, Rick. So they're going to jockey very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
And Elliott Sadler.
Oh, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brennan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 parts. Daniel Suarez, a win already this season. Austin Dillon, last year's winner in the Xfinity Series race on this 4th of July weekend.
This is everybody's fear at Daytona and Talladega, getting in a wreck. You didn't start it. You had nothing to do with it, but you get torn up. It is what makes Daytona so frustrating for drivers. It's so much fun to race here, so much energy, compelling to win, but it is so frustrating to get caught up in somebody else's wreck.
We saw Joe Nemechek, Justin Marks. Take a look at what happens.
It all starts right here with Darrell Wallace Jr. and Brennan Poole. You see trying to help the 48, trying to help the 6, but as the 6 moves left to right with contact with the bumper, it spins it out. Heavy contact between the 42 and the 2. The 2 gets airborne, but safety comes back on the tires.
And that is why NASCAR does not want these guys locking bumpers. It's why they don't want pushing. And again, it creates this rule that they have to enforce, which is very difficult, but this is why they have that rule. Brendan Poole gets into the back of the 6, trying to help the 6. Didn't get his front bumper lined up to the 6 like he needed to. Got the 6 going in the wrong direction. This works well when done properly, but when not done properly, this is the result.
Eric Jones in the 20, also involved. The only driver with a win this season in the Xfinity Series regular that wasn't involved was Elliott Sadler, and that's because he was out front. That was the contact Eric Jones felt.
Hold it.
That noise, that sound, that impact, that's why I'm sitting up here. Just, you can expect coming to Daytona you're going to be in a wreck. You just expect it.
And then the contact there.
We just got caught in the right rear. We made it through it, but then we got clipped in the right rear. Going to come to you with the right side damage, guys.
Daniel Suarez is almost completely clear. But you see right here, there's a gap between the 6 and the 48. As that gap starts to close, the 48 hits him once, everything's fine. And then he hits him a second time closer to the right rear corner, and you see that starts to move the tail of the 6 from left to right. Darrell Wallace Jr. does the best he can to regain control, but at these speeds he loses control, gets into the 20, and then you start to see just back and forth. You see the 19 and Daniel Suarez as it leaves the screen, almost has it collected. The 2, great to see that car come back onto the ground. We saw cars go airborne in Talladega. That car could have easily went up into the air and flipped over. The roof flaps open, the cowl flaps open, set the 2 back on the ground.
And the problem started with where Brendan Poole was trying to bump draft. You're still in the corner. You're still turning the wheel. Your car is not loaded up in the straight. And when he first hit him, there was a big gap. So the first time he hit him hard, and that got Darrell Wallace Jr. kind of out of shape. The next time he hit him, that finished him off. the timing of when and how you bump draft is very important. The first time you hit a guy, you got to roll up to him. You got to drag the brake just a little bit and make slight contact in the corner. On the straight, you can hit a guy pretty hard. The front bumper and the rear bumpers line up really well. But again, you have to pay attention to when you're trying to bump draft a guy. Just a number of cars that get torn up. It's just, and you think you've missed it. Like you think, I'm going to get through it. Next thing you know, somebody's running to the side of you. I've seen this so many times.
What a close call also for Corey LaJoie in the 24. Went through the grass. Dave.
Rick, these drivers and teams always talk about how to avoid the big one. Well, run up front and you won't be in trouble. You saw where Eric Jones was running third on the inside line. So he was up front. Trouble still found him. Eric calls the car pretty messed up. The steering is straight, but a lot of other problems. Marty?
Dave, you can see top right of your screen, the red flag has now been displayed here at Daytona. As you guys saw, Daniel Suarez nearly made it through that. However, they do have right front damage on that car for Daniel Suarez. He said his steering wheel is out. You can see that orange piece of tape on the steering wheel. It's moved to the left. That means the toe is knocked out on the car. They actually thought about taking it back to the garage area to fix this damage, but they are going to try and repair it here on pit road. But obviously with the red flag out, they cannot do any work now, Kelly, but you can see that right side damage for Daniel Suarez.
Well, and this is going to be hugely disappointing for Darrell Wallace Jr. He called this a high expectation weekend. In fact, told me just before the start of the race that he thought he had the car to win. Well, he's got a lot of damage to that 6. He said the toe was knocked out pretty good. They already brought it down to get 4 tires and check the clearances. This is his second time down pit road, and Bubba back out on track said the steering is messed up. So they're going to go to work as soon as they can here on the 6th to see if they can't get him back out there, Rick.
A very abbreviated practice yesterday. Did not let a lot of drivers get out and run in the pack. And this is what happens when you don't bump draft exactly right.